I got the promotion on a Tuesday. My father died on a Thursday. I'd worked 7 years for that corner office. 80-hour weeks, missed birthdays, canceled plans. I climbed every rung, proved myself in every meeting, sacrificed everything I thought didn't matter. Turns out, I was wrong about what didn't matter. My name is Sarah. I'm 42 now, though this story starts when I was 35. Back then, I was hungry, not for food, for success, for validation, for proof that I was worth something. I grew up in a small town where ambition was something people talked about in whispers, like it was dangerous. My father ran a hardware store on Main Street. Same store his father ran. He wore the same flannel shirts, drank coffee from the same chipped mug, knew every customer by name. He was content. I was terrified of being content. So I left, got a scholarship to a university 3 states away, then landed a job at a marketing firm in the city. The kind of place where everyone wore expensive suits and talked about disrupting industries and leveraging synergies. I didn't always know what those phrases meant, but I learned fast. I had to. You might be wondering if my father supported this. He did, quietly. He'd call every Sunday evening, always at 7, like clockwork, and ask how I was doing. I'd tell him about the campaigns I was running, the clients I was winning over, the late nights and the office politics. He'd listen, then he'd say, "That's real good, sweetheart, real good." I didn't realize until much later that he had no idea what I was talking about. He just wanted to hear my voice. The call came on a Wednesday afternoon in March. I was in a strategy meeting, the kind that determined who got promoted and who got quietly shuffled sideways. My phone buzzed. I glanced down. "Mom." I sent it to voicemail. Mom knew I worked during the day. She'd call back later. Except she didn't call back. My brother did. 20 minutes later, while I was still in that meeting, still nodding along to revenue projections and market analysis. I stepped out to the hallway. The fluorescent lights hummed above me. Everything smelled like recycled air and expensive coffee. "Sarah," my brother said. His voice sounded strange, tight. "It's Dad." The words that followed are burned into my memory, but I'll spare you the medical terminology. Here's what mattered: stage 4. Pancreatic cancer. Diagnosed 3 weeks ago. Didn't want to worry me. Doctors said maybe 6 months, maybe less. I remember standing there in that hallway, staring at a motivational poster on the wall. It said something about reaching new heights. I remember thinking that was the stupidest thing I'd ever seen. "Why didn't anyone tell me?" I asked. "He didn't want to distract you," my brother said. "You've got that big promotion coming up." I told myself I'd visit. Soon. This weekend, maybe, or the next one. But that weekend, I had a client dinner. The next weekend, a conference in Boston. The weekend after that, I was preparing for the presentation that would determine whether I got the promotion or whether 7 years of work meant nothing. My mother called every few days. "When are you coming home, Sarah?" "Soon, Mom, I promise, soon." My father never asked. When I talked to him, brief conversations while I was walking between meetings or sitting in my apartment at midnight eating takeout, he just asked about my work. How were things going? Was I happy? I told him about the promotion, how close I was, how much it meant. "That's real good, sweetheart," he said. His voice sounded thinner than I remembered, tired. "I'm proud of you." I should have heard it, that exhaustion, that goodbye hiding in those words. But I didn't. I was too busy. Here's the thing about ambition. It's a loan you take out against your future, and you never really read the terms. 3 months passed. I kept promising to visit, kept finding reasons not to, work reasons, important reasons. The promotion was so close. My boss had practically told me it was mine. I just needed to close this one account, finish this one campaign, prove myself one more time. My father stopped calling as frequently. When we did talk, the conversations got shorter. He'd ask about my work. I'd talk. He'd listen. Then he'd say he was tired and we'd hang up. I didn't ask if he was in pain. I didn't ask if he was scared. I didn't ask what I should have asked, which was, "Dad, what do you need from me?" I assumed we had time. That's what I tell myself now, on the nights when I can't sleep. I assumed we had time. The promotion came through on a Tuesday in June. Corner office. Ridiculous salary. My name on the executive directory. Everything I'd worked for. My boss took me out for drinks. My colleagues congratulated me. Someone posted about it on LinkedIn. I got 73 likes. I called my mother that evening. I got it, I said. The promotion, I actually got it. That's wonderful, honey, she said, but her voice sounded strange, distant. Is Dad there? I asked. I want to tell him. Long silence. He's resting, she said finally. He's having a hard day. I'll tell him when he wakes up. Okay, I said. Tell him I'll visit this weekend. I promise. Now that the promotion's settled, I can take some time off. Okay, Sarah, my mother said. I'll tell him. She never got the chance. My brother called me at 4 in the morning on Thursday. I knew before I answered. You always know, don't you? When the phone rings at 4 a.m., you know. He's gone, my brother said. 3 words. That's all it took to rewrite my entire life. I took the first flight I could get, sat in a middle seat between 2 strangers, staring out the window at clouds that looked like cotton. I kept thinking about all the conversations we should have had, all the visits I'd postponed, all the times I'd said soon and meant when it's convenient. The funeral was on Saturday. Small town funeral. Everyone knew everyone. People kept coming up to me, saying how proud my father had been, how he talked about his daughter in the city, the one doing so well. He'd show people articles you wrote, one of his friends told me, kept them all in a folder behind the counter. I didn't know that. I never knew that. After the service, I went to the hardware store. My mother said I could take whatever I wanted before they sold it. I walked through the aisles, paint cans and hammers and bags of concrete mix, and ended up behind the counter where he used to stand. That's where I found it, the folder. Every article I'd ever published, every trade magazine interview, every press release with my name on it. He'd printed them all out, put them in plastic sleeves, organized them by date. On the inside cover in his handwriting, "My Sarah, she's going places." I sat down on the floor behind that counter and I cried. Not the pretty kind of crying you see in movies, the ugly kind. The kind where you can't breathe and your whole body shakes and you make sounds you didn't know you could make. Because I realized something, sitting there on that floor surrounded by hammers and nails and paint swatches. He didn't care about the promotion. He didn't care about the corner office or the executive title or the LinkedIn congratulations. He just wanted me to come home. And I didn't. I chose conference calls over conversations, strategy meetings over Sunday dinners, client presentations over my father's last months on Earth. I chose my career, and I lost him. The worst part, I can't even say I'd do it differently if I could go back. Because that version of me, the 35-year-old Sarah who was so hungry, so driven, so convinced that success was the same thing as worth, she wouldn't have listened. She would have made the same choices. And that's what I have to live with. I'm still successful. I kept the corner office, got promoted again last year. My work is the same. But I'm not the same. I visit my mother every month now. I take the whole weekend. We don't do anything special. We go to the hardware store. Someone else runs it now. We make dinner. We sit on the porch and talk about nothing important. But it's everything. People at work don't understand why I turn down projects that require travel, why I leave at 5 on Fridays, why I don't answer emails after hours anymore. They think I've lost my edge. Maybe I have. But I'll tell you what I've gained. I sleep at night now. Most nights anyway. Some nights I still wake up at 4 a.m. and think about that phone call, about my brother's voice saying he's gone, about all the conversations I postponed until it was too late. I realize now that success isn't something you achieve. It's something you sacrifice for. And the question isn't whether the sacrifice is worth it. The question is whether you even know what you're sacrificing until it's gone. My father used to say, "That's real good, sweetheart, real good." I thought he was talking about my work, about my achievements, about the life I was building in the city. But he wasn't. He was just saying, I see you, I'm proud of you, I love you. And all he wanted was for me to say it back. I never did, not the way I should have, not while it mattered. So here's what I want you to hear. Whatever you're climbing toward, whatever promotion, whatever achievement, whatever goal you've convinced yourself you can't live without, it will still be there tomorrow. But the people who love you might not be. And you can't get that time back. No matter how successful you become, no matter how hard you work or how much you achieve or how many promotions you earn. You can't get that time back. I know, I tried. If this story hit home for you, I'd love to hear about it. Drop a comment below and tell me one thing you're taking away from Sarah's story. And if you're watching from somewhere new, tell me your city. I love seeing where our community connects from. If you want more stories that explore the real cost of our choices, make sure to subscribe. See you in the next one.